The Washington Post has had a consistent record over Watergate, a record of producing more new disclosures about the case than anyone else. Throughout the affair, the paper has had two men permanently assigned to the story. 29-year-old Carl Bernstein has been in journalism 13 years, 7 of them with the Washington Post. He picked up the story 6 hours after the break-in and has stayed with it ever since. So has Bob Woodward, who's 30. He's a comparative newcomer to journalism after 5 years in the Navy. Of his 18 months on the Post, 10 have been spent on one story, the Watergate.
Early in the morning of June 17, 1972, several burglars were arrested inside the office of the Democratic National Committee, located in the Watergate building in Washington, D.C. This was no ordinary robbery. The prowlers were connected to President Richard Nixon's re-election campaign, and they had been caught while attempting to wiretap phones and steal secret documents. No one is certain whether Nixon knew about the Watergate surveillance operation before it had happened, but he did take matters into his own hands, attempting to cover up the incident afterwards, raising hush money for the burglars, trying to stop FBI from investigating the crime, destroying evidence, and firing uncooperative staff members. In August 1974, after his role in the Watergate conspiracy had finally come to light, the president resigned. Although Nixon was never prosecuted, the Watergate scandal changed American politics forever.
After Nixon resigned, Gerald Ford's president, he went on television early on a Sunday morning to announce that he was giving Nixon a full pardon for Watergate. Now, of course, he went on early Sunday morning hoping no one would notice. But it was widely noticed, but not by me. And I was asleep in a hotel room in New York, and Carl called me up, and he said, "Have you heard?" And I said, "I haven't heard a thing." And Carl, who really knows how to say what has occurred in the fewest words with the most drama, said, "The son of a bitch pardoned the son of a bitch." And I even was able to figure out what. And if you remember that time in '74, there was immense suspicions that it was a deal between Ford and Nixon. There was an aroma of a deal. I think there was the larger question of justice. Why does Nixon get off? 40 people go to jail. And quite frankly, I thought and pretty much concluded there's something smelly about this and what happened. And I think you can look at history.
Bob Woodward is best known for being an investigative reporter and a nonfiction author. He earned his degree in English literature at Yale University and has worked for the Washington Post since 1971 as a reporter and is now an associate editor of the Post. The work of Woodward and Bernstein was called maybe the single greatest reporting effort of all time. In 2014, Robert Gates, former director of the CIA and Secretary of Defense, said that he wished he'd recruited Woodward into the CIA, saying of Woodward, "He has an extraordinary ability to get otherwise responsible adults to spill their guts to him. His ability to get people to talk about stuff they shouldn't be talking about is just extraordinary and maybe unique." Woodward made crucial contributions to 2 Pulitzer Prizes won by the Washington Post. First, he and Bernstein were the lead reporters on Watergate, and the Post won the Pulitzer Prize for Public Service in 1973. He was also the main reporter for the Post's coverage of the September 11th attacks in 2001. The Post won the 2002 Pulitzer Prize for national reporting for 10 of its stories on the subject. Woodward himself has been a recipient of nearly every major American journalism award from 1972 to 2012. Woodward has authored and co-authored 16 nonfiction books in the last 35 years. All 16 have been national bestsellers, and 12 of them have been #1 national nonfiction bestsellers. In 2004, Bob Schieffer of CBS News said, "Woodward has established himself as the best reporter of our time. He may be the best reporter of all time."